you listen on the pod.
Welcome into hour two. All right, let's jump into the tight end position. We kind of hit on it a little bit. There's been no change whatsoever, right? Tucker Kraft is your top tight end. Luke Musgrave, number 2. Ben Sims, number 3. John Fitzpatrick, number 4. Messiah Swinson will be your 5th one. And Johnny Lumpkin will be your 6th. So obviously John Fitzpatrick kind of came on the scenes last year. And I don't want to say he surpassed. Something happened in that playoff game for Ben Sims to be deactivated and John Fitzpatrick to be activated. Am I remembering that wrong, guys? Didn't that happen against Philly?
That's what happened. Yeah. And then Fitzpatrick was the one who missed the block on the opening kick, and Keyshawn got blown up.
Why did I bring that up, Tim? So the tight end room to me seems pretty straightforward, right? Now, Luke Musgrave, like Coach Lynn was saying, you could flex him out wide. You could flex Tucker Kraft out wide like Jacob was saying as well. I really like Ben Sims. He's one of my favorite players on this roster. And I will always refer back to the day that we signed him. I think it was as a UDFA, or maybe it was a little closer to training camp. They picked him up, and Jacob was like, "Hey, I want to talk on the pod about this Ben Sims guy." And I'm like rolling my eyes, like, "There's another guy that's going to have high athletic trait, blah 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 blah." I'll be damned if by the halfway through the season I was like, Jacob was right. This dude is a dog. Like he just does everything right. He plays the game the right way. He can block, he can catch, he can flex out wide. He's got the versatility. I really like Ben Sims. I do, man. Now, like Coach Lynn asked, can Sims hold up at inline Y position? Not the way Tucker Kraft, that grown-ass man, can, but I think he can kind of hold his own. But I'll say this, Coach. I feel like he can hold up at the point of attack as an inline Y just as good, if not better, than Luke Musgrave, from a blocking standpoint anyway. So how do you guys see it? We'll start with you this time, Jacob. What do you think about the tight end room there?
Yeah, I mean, I actually really love it. I wanted to do this exercise for a while because I wanted to see where our seeming weaknesses were on paper, at least. And I've been pleasantly surprised because as I'm sitting here, it's, I can't figure out exactly who you want to let go and blah, 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 as you try to move the pieces around to get to that 53 roster. With the tight end room, I think it's pretty straightforward. I would argue probably that as much as I love Ben Sims, something definitely did happen. And then they did sign John Fitzpatrick to an extended contract, didn't they, after the end of the season? So they must have still
Yeah, I think it was that futures deal. I could be wrong.
Yeah, okay. I like you said, it's pretty obvious Kraft is 1, Musgrave's 2, but I really like the solid depth that we have at that 3 and 4 position. I think I see us carrying 4 again. I don't know about you guys, but I think it's definitely going to be Fitzpatrick and Sims. And it is nice to see that they're kind of really good blockers that every now and then you do see a little spark out of them too. Like I remember a few balls that Ben Sims caught moved upfield and you're like, oh, okay. He's got a little turbo in there.
Turbo time. John Fitzpatrick is shown on Spot Track as just a 1-year deal, Jacob, and he is a UFA next year, so he will be unrestricted. Now, Ben Sims is a 1-year deal, but he's a restricted free agent next year. Messiah Swinson and Johnny Lumpkin are all exclusive rights free agents. So essentially, when you see those tags on those guys, they'll be back if the Packers want them back. John Fitzpatrick's the one that'll probably get to test the market. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think teams are lining up around the bend to sign John Fitzpatrick. But yeah. Tim, what do you think about the tight end room, big dog?
Honestly, when I look at these names, the first thing that comes to mind is blue collar guy, blue collar guy, blue collar guy, blue collar guy. These are lunch pail, men moving tight ends, and obviously Tucker Kraft being the most dynamic out of all of them. Mm-hmm. I feel really good about this position. Like Jacob's saying, like you look at, the 1 and 2, like obviously that's not really up for debate. I think there'll be an emphasis on Luke Musgrave getting, some more action there in the number 2 spot. But, when you look at 3 and 4 on the depth chart, like I feel really good, man. And then with Savion Williams at receiver, maybe that takes, a little bit of pressure off, Musgrave and Kraft as far as being these field stretchers, because you got a big body receiver that can be utilized in, a multitude of ways, and, might allow these tight ends to do more tight ends type stuff rather than having to be these dynamic receiving threats. So I feel really good about the tight end room as a whole.
I'll say this too, as you mentioned Savion Williams, it just triggered a thought in my mind from Chalk Talk, which we'll do that one probably do that tomorrow, the Savion Williams chalk talk, which we may have to hit the defensive side of the depth chart tomorrow and then get to the Savion Williams chalk talk. But the thing that stood out to me, Tim, Savion Williams lining up in the wing in college, kind of like Scoot did his rookie year. Boy, that feels like you put him in there. Now, even though you're in 11 personnel, you're kind of in a 12 set. You know what I mean?
So, basically, for all intents and purposes, right?
Yep.
And then you couple that with the fact we talk about injuries being a part of football and being a part of a season, and you look at that position group particularly, like tight ends get hurt all the time. So if we ever did get a little thin in that tight end room, if you carry 6 receivers, it might be easy to just take Savion Williams and stick him as a tight end, line him up in that type of set and see what he does,
Yeah, Holmes says, Clay, that would be dirty. Let's go. I'm telling you, man, Savion Williams is looking for somebody to headhunt on, too. That dude is nuts. He ain't no joke, man. He ain't afraid to get out there and crack some skulls. I'm excited to see if that transfers over to the NFL. Coach Lynn made a good point here. He says Fitzpatrick's more of a traditional Y tight end.
Yep. Completely
agree. As Holmes said, Fitz is a much better blocker than Muskie. Absolutely. That's what he does. And I remember there was a play Fitzpatrick had a block. I want to say it was it might have been week 17 or week 18 of the season, but he smacked somebody in the mouth on the goal line. I want to say it was against the 49ers, so it might have been a little earlier in the season. But dude, he'll smack somebody in the chest, bro. It's awesome watch Fitzpatrick block. That's definitely his strength. So I agree, Coach. I think he is more of a traditional Y. So when you look at the tight end room, Kraft is your Y, Musgrave's your U, Ben Sims is your U, Fitzpatrick is your Y. Right? That's kind of how they shake out there.
And Savion Williams is all of those if you need it in a pinch.
Yeah. And listen, I think Ben Sims can play Y, don't get me wrong, but Fitzpatrick is definitely built like a Y, plays like a Y. And Ben Sims is that dude that you can move around a little bit more, although I could see the argument for him being a traditional Y as well. Jarrell Lee says, this year's Chalk Talk is going to be so fun. Can't wait to Clayton, Tim, Jacob, and Emilio to break down Marshawn Lloyd. Go back. Let's
go.
Can you imagine? What if he just comes out and just dominates?
Dude, I love it. RB1 in the preseason for sure. Let's go. Get him out there. Get him reps. Let's get him on tape. I can't wait.
Imagine Marshawn Lloyd just all of a sudden Jacob bursting on the scene like a young Aaron Jones and averaging over 5 yards a pop. That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, if we could have like a situation where Jacob's still like a 1,300 yard rusher, and all of a sudden we pepper in like an extra 500 or 600 from Lloyd, you know what I mean? Just getting 5 to 10 snaps a game, and all of a sudden we got a crazy double-headed